because I don't look at the films that when I'm in the middle of making a film, I'm rarely looking at it in a very broad objective, from a very broad objective perspective. And we're doing this interview right in the middle of making the film. And therefore my perspective is the most subjective. And I tend to look at the film from a broader sense when I first read it, and when I'm first thinking about it, and when I'm first trying to decipher the tone of the film, or trying to get a sense for just at its core of the story. And then as I start to think about working on the film, I want to get more a sense of the tone and the atmosphere of the film, and those are more objective viewpoints. But then the deeper and deeper I find myself, the more subjective I become, and eventually I find myself at the point that I'm at now, which is simply how to get from here right over to there, and what's happening between here and there, and that's it, and it's as small as that. And of course you have a sense of intention, and have a sense of a journey, and where this little space of time or fits within that journey. But it's so subjective. I don't think in terms of metaphors or themes, or I'm really thinking more in terms of is if I'm throwing something in the wastebasket, why I'm throwing it in the wastebasket, or if I'm looking at the woman across the desk from me, what I'm thinking about when I'm looking at her, which is generally what I'm thinking about. Well, he's just lost a secretary who, an employee of his, and he's, I think he's, with the emphasis on the word loss, I think there is a, I know when we shot that scene where you first meet him, and I know I felt quite adrift, and hoping that someone would throw out their hand and pull me in. But by the same token, I don't think he ever is able to separate his enormous appetite and he has a ravenous hunger, and that I think that he's constantly in conflict with, and it most often gets the best of him. And I think that's what, and he has strange things that take his interest. It manifests in so overtly within every aspect of his life. He's incorporated his desire, and his desires are so assimilated in every aspect of his life that it's so overt to him that he's reminded of his desires, and constantly reminding him of his desires at every turn. Wherever he looks, wherever his eyes are at rest, whatever he touches, whatever he smells, is all about that. And because of that, I think he's horrified as well. And I think that drives him. That, I don't know actually whether it's horror so much as he's extremely conflicted. Yes, I think there is. I think they see reflections of themselves in the other person, and sometimes that's enormously compelling and exhilarating and arousing and